Hi guys, in this video I'm going to explain you the topic for this week, for the week 6. It is the simple present but the yes and no and WH questions, okay? But first we need to remember that we're going to use the simple present when we want to talk about an action that is happening in this moment right now, or when we want to talk about actions that happen regularly, like a routine or a habit. Also, we need to remember that when we want to say or write sentences in the affirmative form, we need to put first the subject plus the verb and finally the complement. Also, for the negative statements, we need to put first the subject plus the auxiliary verb plus the word not plus our verb, our principal verb or our action verb, and finally the complement. For example, Pauline does not want to share the pie. She doesn't think there is enough to go around. Pauline practices the piano every day. Mrs. Jackson travels during the summer. Okay. In English, we have two types of questions, the yes and no questions and the WH questions. First, the yes and no questions. They are also called closed questions because there are only two possible responses, yes and no. When we're forming these yes and no questions, we must include one of these verbs, be, do, have, or a modal verb as our auxiliary. For the verb to be, remember that we are going to use it when we want to ask about the identity or the description of a person, a place, or a thing. For example, is this a good restaurant? Yes, it is, or no, it isn't. Okay. We're going to use do to when we want to ask, when we want to obtain facts about people, places, or things. For example, does it rain here? Yes, it does. Or do they smoke? No, they don't. Okay. We need to be aware of the verb do and be, because remember that we're going to use is for the persons he, she, and it, and we're going to use are for the persons you, they, and we, and we're going to use am for the person I. Also, remember that we are going to use does for the persons it, he, and she, and we're going to use do for the persons I, you, we, and they. Okay. And finally, we have the modal verb. Remember that we are going to use the modal verb when we want to ask about possibilities or uncertainties. For example, can we stay? Yes, we can, or no, we can't. Now, the WH questions. They are called like that because, with the exception of the question word how, all the questions begin with the letters WH. They are also called open questions because the number of possible responses is limitless, okay? This means that we must answer these kind of questions with more information than just a simple yes or no. The WH questions we have in the language are what. We're going to use this question word when we want to ask about something, when we want to ask information about something. For example, what is your name? My name is Giselle. Your name is Carlos. Her name is Elizabeth. Okay. We have also when. We're going to use it when we want to ask about the time. For example, when do you want to meet me? We're going to use where when we want to ask about a place or a position. For example, where do they live? Oh, they live in Santa Rosa, or they live in Mexico City. Okay? Which we're going to use it when we want to ask about choices. For example, which color do you want? Or which dress do you like the most? Or Or which ice cream do you prefer? Okay, oh, I prefer the chocolate ice cream, or I prefer the red dress. Okay. Now we have the WH question, who. This one is when we want to ask about a person or a people. For example, who opened the door? I opened the door. She opened the door. Carlos opened the door. Okay. Now we have why. We're going to use it when we want to ask for the reason about something or about something. Okay. For example, why do you say that? Okay. And finally, we have the question word how. We're going to use it when we want to ask about the manner. For example, how does this work? Or when we want to ask about a condition or quality. For example, how was your exam? Oh, my exam was very difficult, or my exam was very easy. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, this is all for this topic. Remember that in this week you're going to practice it in several activities. And remember that if there are any doubts, you can send me an email and I'll try to answer you as soon as I can. Okay? Well, guys, see you the next week, and see you the next week. And I hope you have a great week. Bye, guys. Thank you.